What happened in Parliament today was not just another question period, it was a political turning point. A moment where Canadians could finally see the difference between leadership and desperation, between someone who builds for the country and someone who tears it down for a headline. And that difference was crystal clear. On one side was Mark Carney, confident, composed, and already thinking 2 steps ahead as the crucial budget vote approaches. On the other side was Pierre Poilievre, the same pre-scripted lines, ignoring facts, avoiding substance, and looking increasingly cornered. Today, Poilievre wasn't just challenged, he was exposed. And by the end of this video, you will understand why this exchange might go down as one of the most defining moments of this entire Carney-Poilievre era. Let's break this down. Poilievre began with his usual lines, the same routine we've heard for months. He talked about deficits, he talked about grocery bills, he talked about credit cards. Nothing new, nothing original, nothing connected to today's reality. But this time, the context was different. This wasn't a random question period. This was the day of the historic budget vote, a vote that will decide the direction of the entire country, and Carney knew it. Carney didn't waste time. He opened with the truth. Inflation is at 2.2%, jobs are up, unemployment is down, and for 2 straight years inflation has been within the Bank of Canada's target range. This is exactly what Poilievre wants Canadians to hear. Carney frames the moment clearly. Today isn't about slogans. Today is about deciding whether Parliament will vote for generational investments or fall into Poilievre's manufactured crisis narrative. And Poilievre had nothing to say. He simply returned to his script.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The Prime Minister's costly deficit gambles our future on the national credit card. And it drives up food, housing, and tax bills. In fact, the Parliamentary Budget Officer has revealed in his recent report the Prime Minister has doubled Justin Trudeau's deficit. He's brought in the biggest deficit in Canadian history outside of the pandemic, $16 billion bigger than he promised only 7 months ago. Why isn't the Prime Minister breaking his word and forcing Canadians to pay higher inflation today and higher taxes tomorrow for his costly credit card budget?
Poilievre then shifted not toward economic analysis, not toward policy, but toward another attack line about grocery bills and credit card budgets. It was the same speech he gave last week and the week before that and the month before that. But this time his delivery didn't land. Why? Because Carney had already dismantled the premise by proving with data that wages have been rising faster than inflation every single month since he became Prime Minister. Poilievre was exposed as someone ignoring facts because facts undermine his entire political strategy. And then came the moment that changed the tone of the entire chamber. Carney reminded Parliament and every Canadian watching that today is the day MPs must stand up and be counted. Canada is growing. Canada is adding jobs. Canada is investing in sovereignty. Canada is building for the future. This wasn't a political defense. It was a statement of national direction, and it left Poilievre visibly frustrated because none of his talking points addressed any of Carney's facts. With his economics narrative collapsing, Poilievre switched to crime, another scripted attack. He referenced extortion and prison sentences. But again, Carney responded with direct policy clarity. The government already has legislation on the table addressing these crimes, and Conservatives are refusing to support it. Carney's message was simple. If Conservatives cared about crime, they would vote for the very bills designed to fight it. Poilievre had no answer because he doesn't want solutions, he wants slogans. The final blow came not from Carney, but from Minister François-Philippe Champagne. This was the knockout moment of the entire session. Champagne confronted the Conservatives head-on and asked the question they fear the most. Will they vote for Canadians tonight, or will they vote for their own bitterness, their own egos, and their own political survival? His message was unmistakable. Canada needs growth. Canada needs investment. Canada needs stability. And Conservatives are the only ones trying to block it. Champagne made it clear. Supporting the budget means supporting Canada. Opposing it means voting against the future of the country. This is the message that will determine tonight's vote. Today's session told the entire story. Carney walked into Parliament with confidence, facts, leadership, and momentum. Poilievre walked in with pre-written lines, no answers, and a caucus that looked increasingly divided. And now the country is watching. Because tonight's vote isn't about budgets or talking points, it's about whether Canada moves forward with Carney's vision or gets dragged backwards into Poilievre's chaos. One thing is already clear. Carney dominated today. Poilievre was humiliated, and the Conservatives look more fractured than ever.